we're on referencing, and when we're doing any piece of referencing, if you're using material, it doesn't matter. This is a piece of text, could be a graph, a chart, an image, a photo, a paraphrased piece from a Netflix documentary you might have been watching. If you feel that it is relevant information, that's fine to use. So now what we're going to do to start off with is just referencing a website. In Microsoft Word, you've got this referencing drop-down, referencing ribbon, and it has your style drop-down. So the first thing you do is you make sure it is in Harvard referencing style. So ensure Microsoft Word style is Harvard. There's your drop-down. Secondly, you insert a citation. Because this is a new source, I haven't used this source before, I am now going to tell Microsoft Word that for me, it's a new source and we're going to fill in the blanks. So to do that, I'll just go that far for a minute and I'll do it on Microsoft Word. So here I have taken this information from the website, all right? So I've taken the information from the website. Under references, yes, I've double checked and that is Harvard. Under insert citations, click on add a new source. It's a new source material. I've never used it before. And now Microsoft Word, we can call it a fill in the blanks because that's what we're doing here. We're filling in all of these fields, which are blank at the minute. Is the book I got it from? Book section, journal article, conference proceeding, report, website. Oh yeah, that's what it is. It's a website. I'm going to select that. So because it's from a website, the fields have slightly changed, right? In here, it gives you examples of what to put in each of them. The name of the website, an example. The year tells me don't just put in 06, but put on 2006. The month, don't just put in 01, put in the word for the month and so on. There's your URL, the full address. Your author, in this case, if I go back onto my website, who is the author of this? Looking at this, I don't see a name. I don't see Caroline Cahill written on it. Sometimes on newspaper articles, you'll see the journalist. So you can put the responsibility on their head. But this time around, it is the Department of the Taoiseach. I'm too lazy to type, so I'm going to click and drag over it. Control-C to copy. And back here, you have a choice. Is it the author, James Kramer, Jackie Chan? Or is it a corporate author, the name of an organization? In this case, yeah, Department of the Taoiseach isn't the person's name. Their first name isn't department. Their second name isn't of the Taoiseach. If you left it as an author, it would assume that. So it's a corporate author, Teagasc, Caoilte, any of those. So corporate author is the name of a company if there isn't a person's name involved. The name of the web page, that's my next fill in the blanks. Oh, I'm not too sure. Is it gov.ie? Is it press release? Is it all this piece of text? When you're not sure, you go up to the very top and this little tab, you see this tab up on top? That will show you. So gov.ie, Taoiseach Simon Harris, blah, blah, blah. So I can just select this as my title. Control-C to copy, Control-V to paste. The year, I know it was only published this month, 2024. The year I accessed it is now. The month I've accessed it, we're still into September, EMBER, and the day is the 27th. The full URL, you just select https www.gov.ie/en/press-release/d4 blah blah blah. Copy and paste it. Okay, so Control-C and Control-V to paste. Click on OK there. And once we click OK, you can celebrate by having your first citation. There's my first citation, Department of the Taoiseach. Okay, so I can put a full stop. Now I've finished that sentence. I've told the reader where I've gotten this information from. When you're doing references, when you're doing any document, most times your references will go at the very end of the document, the last page. Control and end will bring me to the very end, which at the minute is the same page. So I'm going to make a new page, Control and enter. And on the top of what is now page 4, I'm just going to back into my PowerPoint for a second. There's I made sure it was a Harvard. I put in insert citation, I added a new source, and then I filled in the blanks. So I've done that. Now, part 3, there is only 4 buttons in this citation and bibliography grouping. There is only 4 buttons. First one is Harvard, done. Second one is insert a citation, done. Now we want to put a reference list. We want a reference list that looks like what? Where is it? There. Looks like this big reference list. But we're just doing it for the minute for only one. Okay, so for the minute, we're just doing it for one reference that we have used. Back in my Microsoft Word, we've in under the bibliography, you can just tell Microsoft Word, quickly populate my reference list. So if you click on references there, it does it all for you. See all the information Tash putting in? You don't need to worry about a thing. That's why I'm calling it fill in the blanks. You have to do minimal work only, fill in the fields as asked. The name, the URL, the date you accessed it. Because if it was front page headline, it's not going to be front page headline indefinitely. It'll be gone tomorrow, won't it? Be gone in an hour. So you need to give it the date and the date that you accessed it. Okay, I'm scrolling back up to my contents. That's my first reference, and I've referred to that web page. All right, so now choosing my bibliography, and I chose references from that. The last button that's there is this manage sources, and that's another easy one to use. When I'm looking up here, I see on mine, I don't know about yours, there's a space there. I don't want that space. Or I've spelled Taoiseach wrong, or I put in the wrong year. Some mistake has been made. The 4th button just allows us to edit, manage the sources. This is the masters. This is all the sources I've previously used, okay? Grand, there's a list of them. Yours is probably empty. This is my current list. So on this document, this is what's being used. Whoops, I have an extra space before D. I'm going to click on edit. And there's D. Didn't have an extra space. I just put in that space. If you spell September wrong, or you wanted to have it as a shortcut, or 2024 should have been 2022, whatever it might have been. You can make your edits in there and then click OK and close. All right. So it automatically puts a little space there. That is step 4. That's it. There is no other windows. You check that it's Harvard reference. You add in the details for any news source, be it a newspaper article, a magazine, a academic journal, a book, and so on. Your sources can come from anywhere. The CSO website, from Netflix, from YouTube, from whatever. You decide, from a conversation you had. The only thing is that you need to put on your academic hat and you need to think about all of these questions. Is that source reliable? Is it true? It's my gut instinct. I think that's not actually related to here. That's English, or it's American, or it's wherever. Is it relevant as a student of horticulture, forestry, computing, whatever it might be, as a student of SETU in Waterford? And is the timing 2022 on this one? Is that up to date enough? 2024, 1999, you decide if it's compare and contrast. The older won't make much of a difference. But for newer pieces of research, you try and keep it as up to date as possible. Okay, so that is the 4 buttons in that referencing grouping. Next up, we're going to reference a journal article, reference a publication. There are publications, I've shown you those on the National Biodiversity Data Centre. For us, if we had in here, create a reference to the National Biodiversity Centre, you can see if you have that open, you can click into it. You have it open as a PDF. You close down World Simon. Here's our resource and publications, right? So now I am using a piece of text, piece of content, or whatever it might have been. In the past few years, over 30 insect species have been found in Ireland for the first time. So if I was reading this and I found that piece of information down, this is all kind of placeholders at the minute. So we'll just write the piece of information saying we got it from here. Okay, they have to update that yet. Work in progress, we'll call it. So we'll type in, we'll say we're getting it from this National Biodiversity. We'll just use this as an example anyway. So we can type in, I'll put it in on your chat area there if you want, if you're not a fan of typing. What was it? In the past few years. Oops. New species. Have been found in Ireland. Now, I'm going to just copy that and I will paste this so you can push into your document. Right, there's a copy paste gone into your chat area. And I'll show you how to reference this as well. So we want to reference this. Here is our information. You can see here over the past few years, and I want to reference the National Biodiversity Centre, newly discovered insects in Ireland. Maybe I can search for that. What's the full web address? Because I know I only got this the other day anyway. Newly discovered insects in Ireland. There we go. You had it somewhere. I just had the wrong link there. I'll sort that out. So this is where I'm getting the information from. I pushed into your chats again so you can see where the origin. So it's just a copy and paste of this piece of text. It is not me. It's not me guessing that this is, oh, it's probably 30. I'm guessing. It's me putting in a reference to show that this is valid, reputable, reliable information that I have taken from the National Biodiversity Data Centre. So I want to reference that using the same 4 little buttons. Well, I won't even need to use 4 unless I need to edit it again. Harvard is done. Still as Harvard referencing, you will never change that. And this is a new source. There's my department out of Taoiseach, yes, but I want to put in a new source of information. If I click on new source of information, and in here, go along, again, it's a website. If I put in the National Biodiversity, National Biodiversity Data Centre, name of the web page, back onto my web page, I can have a look up in my tab and say, oh, newly discovered. Yeah, that's grand. So I'll select that, Control C to copy, Control V to paste. The year is there a year on that publication? Usually on websites, when you go to them, you'll see a copyright. National Biodiversity Centre keeps up to date. It is 2024. So it would have been 2024, the year I've accessed it. The month is SPTMBR, September the 27th. And again, the URL, copy and paste your full URL. All right, so you need to select all of that, Control C and Control V. There's my website, National Biodiversity Data Centre. For a second, I'm just going to copy that because I'll show you in a minute. Because I'm lazy. Right, so I have put that in. They were the author because I didn't see a person's name. It didn't show me that it was Caroline Cahill, Cara Daly, Tom Kent, whoever. It doesn't show me the name. This just shows me at the IVB, Jim Kenny's, that's his photo. So back in here, I say, okay. And now it's coming up saying Centre 2024. Bit odd, but anyway, I'll assume that's all okay. And if I go down here to my references, I'll update my citations. And now it's coming up saying Centre NBD. What's happening there? Why is that? Why is my National Biodiversity Centre coming up as such? It's because if I go back into my manage sources, National Biodiversity, and edit, it's because I've told it it's a person's name. I've left it in author instead of that. Whoops, I made a mistake. It should be National Biodiversity. It's not Centre being the person's first name. So as in Cahill, Caroline, it's not a person's name, it's a company. Don't change the company name, don't abbreviate it. It is not a person's initials. So it is a corporate author. Clicking OK, it tells me, are you sure you want to change it? Because you've referenced that in the background. Yeah, I'm sure. Close that. And now I need to update my citations. Phew, that looks better. And you can see it's in alphabetical order, A, B, C, D, F, G, H, I, K, L, M, N for National Biodiversity. Back up here. Now, this has fixed itself. National Biodiversity Centre. That looks better. Full stop. So now instead of, in the past few years, over 30 insects, and I'm thinking, where are you pulling that information out of? That's far too high, far too little. But I can say it's factual because it comes from the National Biodiversity Data Centre. Go and read more about it if you want to by going down to my references list. So that shows how to reference a journal article and making sure that you put in the corporate author if it is the name of a company, as opposed to an author's name and surname. Online journals, moving along, we'll go to the library. Let's head to SETU, library.setu.ie. Can't open specified file. I have that linked. I'll have to double check that. So copy and paste it. Where am I? LIBRARY library dot setu.ie brings us in here. Loading up the library pages, and we want to do a search for Water Quality Ireland. Water quality, and look at more phrases you put in here, the more specific this will become. Is it river quality in particular? Is it general water quality? Is it drinking water quality? You decide if it's more specific. You have a Waterford campus search, you have a Carlow Wexford campus search. So we'll stick with the Waterford campus search, clicking on OK. And this will search all of the published journal articles. You need to log in the same as you do at the start of class. All the published journal articles that are stored within the SETU database of thousands of journal articles. You can see up here, peer-reviewed journal article, an academic journal. This is peer-reviewed, which means it is valid, reputable, reliable. Is it up to date? I'm not too sure. I'll have to look at it. 2023. Yes, it is. There's another one, 2023. Great. Here's one from 2019, a little bit older, 2021. So you can see it pulls up an awful lot of relevant, reputable, reliable, up-to-date information that we can use. So back on our page, search for any content. Click into the article, investigating bottlenecks. So click into that. All right, so click into it and it'll open it up saying this comes from the Journal of Environmental Management. In the college, when you go in, the main desk is in front of you. To the left-hand side, at least that's where they used to be, are the journal articles. Otherwise, ask anybody, they'll be more than happy to help. Journals are a magazine, a little mini book, but they're in A4 size. From that, those journals, you can get many research articles. So inside it, there could be 10, 20 different research articles. So in here, you can see this particular one comes from the Journal of Environmental Management. This is a link if you have it open in the PDF. It's from volume 345. So that's 345 magazines or journals later. This one was published on the 1st of November, 2023. Published by Lisa Vandenberg, Elsa Dinkoon, Noel Meehan, and Lillian O'Sullivan. Okay, so that's a good bit of information we get there on our page. So I'm going to click into it. And it tells you then, there's your author and all the rest. Sometimes you get your abstracts, which will give you a good bit of information as to what you might want to read about. You can, of course, access the full journal article. So when I click on access, it allows me in. to Science Direct as a student or a lecturer of SETU, we have free access to these. They can cost $10-ish if you didn't. If I only want to browse it, I can browse away. If I wanted to view it or download the full issue, I can, because I'm a student or a lecturer and I'm allowed to do that. So there's loads of information there. There's your introduction. And I want to go to the introduction. It says on your PowerPoint, across the European Union, agriculture is the biggest source of water pollutant today. So if I see here, across the EU, agriculture is the biggest source of water pollutant today, which predominantly contributes to non-point pollution of water in the EU. So I'm just going to catch the first part. Copy back into my Microsoft Word, and I'll just put it into here. Paste, Control V. Agriculture is a hyperlink. That shouldn't be in my document. Right click, remove hyperlink. So across the EU, agriculture is the biggest source of water pollutant today, can really get people's backs up. So, because people can say, how dare you say that? You need to show that you're getting information from reliable, reputable sources. It's not hearsay, it's not slagging rights, it's factual. For this, we need to, for that reason, reference this journal article. It's an article in a journal, so it's called a journal article or an academic journal article. So we need to reference that. To do that, you must reference the original source of this sentence, because that's a very strong sentence. Ireland has a lot of agriculture and people can get angry unless you show, well, where's your facts and figures that belong to that? Well, hang on, I'm going to show you. So fill in the blanks to another new source of information. So back into our document and back into our same thing. Yeah, it's still at Harvard as expected. This didn't come from the Department of Taoiseach. This didn't come from the National Biodiversity Centre. It's a new source. What is the type of a source? We can say it's a journal article. The author, we've a bunch of authors in this case. For that, you can see these are the authors: Lisa, Elsa, Nolan, Lillian. Because they're links, I can't really copy and paste, but I can click on it. And all it does is it opens up that author's details. Lisa M. Van den Berg. I can remember Microsoft Word. Because of multiple authors, can't remember, is it surname, comma, first name, or what? Click on edit. I don't ever try and type out multiple authors there. Instead, I go into edit, and then you're back into an easier fill in the blanks. So the last name Van den Berg, Control C, Control V. First name, Lisa M. They've gone to the effort of calling themselves Lisa M. You do too. Click on add. I'm not saying okay because I'm not finished yet. The next author is Elsa. So we'll have Ding Kuhn, Control C, Control V for copy and paste. And there's your first name. Add that, and again, you're just back in. Third one, Noel Meehan. You can see it. You can either select over it, or if it's only one word, you can double click. Control C to copy, Control V to paste. And the first name, I can either write it in, it's only Noel, 4 letters, or else can copy and paste. And finally, we have Lillian O'Sullivan. Select that, copy, and it's Lilian, and add. So now my 4 authors are there. When I click OK, my 4 authors are put into my field. So I didn't need to worry that it was Van den Berg, comma, Lisa M, full stop, semicolon, Ding Kuhn, comma. I don't care. Microsoft Word, please deal with that for me. The title, the full title of it, Investigating Bottlenecks, down as far as the word Ireland. The journal name is up here, the Journal of Environmental Management. So I'm going to click and drag on that, copy and paste. The year, having a look, it is 2023. 2023. The pages, I don't see what pages it's on because I'm looking at it in an online method. I'm ignoring pages. I do have a volume though. I have volume 345, an easy one to remember. I don't have an issue, but I do have, click on show all bibliography. Is there an option for an E journal? No, that's fine. So click on show all bibliography. And if I scroll down here, there is a URL, which is the full web address of this. So select it, copy, Control C and paste, Control V. And that shows me the full URL. Clicking OK to that. Now I'm saying across the EU, agriculture is the biggest source of water pollutant today. Don't shoot the messenger. I didn't say it. Van den Berg et al. 2023 said that. Et al. Meaning if you have more than 2 authors, it puts in this et al. Not to have a full paragraph of names. Down into my references, click on it once so that it comes live if you want, and update it. And there's your full reference list, nicely building up down at the end. To quickly take a screenshot, all you had was back into your snipping tool. And if I do Control and N or press the new, and I want to take a screenshot of my time and date, I'm going to click and drag over it. There's my time and date. There's my screenshot taken up in my snipping tool back into my Microsoft Word. Control V will paste. And if your image, if you can't move it by default, it's probably because it has the formatting. If I want to move it over to the right hand side, it's pushing my text all over the place. It's difficult to move around. So to do that, you need to change the text wrapping. By default, it doesn't allow image and text. So it has this with text wrapping. Okay, so when you turn that on, now, oh, come back here. Now I can move it over to the right hand side without all my text going arseways. To make that default, you go into File, Options, Advanced, and scroll down into the Cut, Copy and Paste and change your default from being inline with text to being square with text. It mightn't work on the college computers because you won't be allowed to overwrite the defaults, but it will work on your home computer. Okay, so now you can move it up there. You want to just tidy it up a bit. So you usually have these little laser lights. That's telling me don't go into the margins, don't go out onto the right margin. So I'll leave it at the top. I'll catch my privacy on the web, the little edges. Move that down a bit. Maybe now that's changed my text. So I can press enter, enter, and just pull that to the start. Now it looks all neat and tidy, ready to go. So at this stage, we have your screenshot there, your privacy on the web, you have your paragraphs, you have the why reference material that we generated in class, you have the 3 references that we did the examples of, plus their associated full reference list down at the end. It's all in alphabetical order and all formatted as it should be. So that'll be up to speed for the next class.